Hi guys, it's Mr. Sean. Did you know that over half the people that watch this channel aren't subscribed yet? Did you also know that subscribing is the best and easiest way to help this channel? Please help me get to my goal this year of 1,000 subscribers. It's just a little click for you, but it means an awful lot to me. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is I, your host, Mr. Sean, and today we're looking at a post from the Am I the A-Hole subreddit. Now, normally the way this one works is the OP presents their story and then the community makes a judgment. Are they or are they not the a-hole? But the thing is, I heard this one while listening to another YouTuber's channel, and it got to me. I think it's so much more than am I the a-hole? Am I not the a-hole? It really speaks to something about our society, that this situation happened in the first place. And I actually have been in a similar situation that had a very different result. And I kind of wanted to explore that today and talk about not just the actual post itself, but what it means and what it shows us about us as a society. So I guess first we'll just read the post and then we'll get a little deeper into it. Sound good? Now, this post originally came to us from user He Likes Dinos and states, AITA for throwing a dino party for my adult boyfriend. And spoiler alert, the consensus is they are not the a-hole. My 20 female boyfriend, 25 male, has always been very interested in dinosaurs and pretty much anything related to them. He told me a few months ago that he really wanted a dinosaur-themed birthday party when he was a child, but his parents didn't let him. He talked about how he went to a dinosaur party when he was 8-ish and how jealous he was. So, for his 25th birthday, I threw him a dino party. Jurassic Park soundtrack, dino cake, fossil cookies, dino balloons, themed drinks, excavating, tiny bottles of booze, a T-Rex piñata, you get the idea. I invited R plus his friends and let them know that it might be silly/childish, but it was my idea based on his story. Everyone seemed to have a good time, getting pretty drunk, eating a lot of snacks. My boyfriend was smiling the whole night and told me that night that he loved that I did that for him and he had a great time. Fast forward a few days. Apparently, some of his friends thought it was stupid and childish and told him made fun of him. When he came home that day, he told me that I was out of line for throwing him such a childish party and that I should have just thrown a normal party or asked explicit permission. He's been upset with me for making him look stupid. TLDR, boyfriend told me he's always wanted a dino party. I threw him one. He loved it. His friends made fun of him. Now he's angry at me. Now, before we dig deeper into this, I will just say, yes, I agree, not the a-hole. And two, the ultimate solution is either one, your boyfriend needs better friends, or you need a better boyfriend. But let's look at what this story says, not just about this OP and her boyfriend, but about us. Now, when I was the boyfriend's age, so 25, I was right on the cusp where I was just shy. I was about a year away from having a massive falling out with my group of friends over the fact that, a lot of times they seemed more interested in me just being a version of them than being someone who was me and was happy with who I was. And honestly, it was really bad for my mental health, even though I hadn't realized it at the time. I was, hiding who I was around people because they would always be like, no, you don't want that. You don't want to be that way. People will think you're weird. You should be like us, boring and obsessed with, banal things like going out to bars and getting drunk and hitting on women. I talk a lot on this channel about how I am a bona fide wizard and that I did not lose my V card until I was 30. I could have lost it at 19 if my friends hadn't talked me out of hooking up with someone I actually really liked. And even though I never did hook up with that person, actually they and me and my wife are all really good friends now. She was actually one of my wife's bridesmaids, but it was all because she didn't have the aesthetic that my friends were into, even though I was into that. Again, it wasn't about what I liked. It was about what my friends liked. And I let them, cause me to suppress what I wanted for the sake of fitting in with the group. Fortunately, events happened, and at around 26, I ended up kind of leaving literally all but one of them behind forever. And, nowadays I have a group of friends that likes me for who I am, and in being okay with being myself and living my life the way I wanted to, well, that's how I met my wife. So ultimately, my life is better because I got away from my toxic friends who cared more about what people thought and appearances than they did about just being happy with who they are and what they wanted. And now, luckily, I got out at 26. I'm not so sure this OP's boyfriend is on that path. He's still very enmeshed in what his friends think is cool. And I'll be honest, my favorite movie of all time is Jurassic Park. And when I told this story to my wife, she's like, "Well, I know what I'm doing for your 40th birthday now." And that's 4 years away, 5 years, I guess, technically. It's 5 birthdays away, but since I turned 36 this month, that it's not really like another full year. But I'm excited for that. At our wedding, before the bride came in and came into her theme, myself, all the guests came in, the groomsmen, all that, we came in to a piano version of the Jurassic Park theme, which was really cool. But the thing is, I said that I had found myself in a similar situation, and I had, and this was when I was turning 29. So when I turned 29, that weekend, my birthday weekend, was the premiere of the Power Rangers movie. And I will say, a lot of people didn't like that movie. I enjoyed it. I'm sad they didn't make any more. But it gave me the idea, because when I was 5 years old, sitting on my couch in my family room watching Fox Kids on Saturday, one of the most vivid memories of that I have is the day that not only Power Rangers, but X-Men premiered, one right after the other. And I sat there watching it, and I knew deep down that next Monday at school, at daycare, we were all going to be playing pretend X-Men and Power Rangers. And we did. It was monumental for us as children. And so I got the idea, and I was willing to throw it all myself, though my parents did chip in some money. I invited a bunch of people. I was like, we were all going to go to the movie theater. We were going to rent out their party room. We were going to have, cake and pizza and goodie bags, have essentially a 5-year-old's birthday party, and then go see Power Rangers. Now, while I was willing to fund this entirely myself, my parents were nice enough to pay for the tickets, the cake, and the pizza. Now, one of my contributions is I made the goodie bags. And to do so, I scoured Goodwill's and the clearance section of GameStops all over town, finding like little blind bag figure packs. I literally found at Goodwill 2 entire those cubes that you put like a comforter in, full of toys, and I divvied them up into goodie bags for everybody. And so, the idea was that not only would they come for the pizza and the cake and all that, but they'd get goodie bags full of toys. And the thing here is I was kind of in the mid-range of the oldest to youngest that came to this party. I mean, there were adults of all ages. The only even child that was actually there was like a 16, 17-year-old, the daughter of 2 of my friends, who they were like, "Oh, can she come?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" One of the funniest parts of getting this all together, though, was I had to call up the theater to see, because I looked at their party room rates, and all of the rates were designed around a child's birthday party. So I called them up and I said, "Hey, so yeah, I see that you guys rent out the room for children's birthday parties." And they go, yeah, we do." And I was like, "Cool. What would it cost to rent it when there will be no children? What would the price differential be if the only people coming to this party and renting out this party room and getting the tickets and snack pack deal were all adults?" And the guy was silent on the other end for a second, but he goes, "Oh yeah, okay, so we just, the tickets would be the adult price, we'd still cut you a deal, and we'd actually upgrade your snack back to slightly larger snacks, a bigger bag of fruit snacks, a bigger drink, a bigger bag of popcorn that each person would also get." And he's like, "Yeah, so this is," and they sent me over the information, my mom got in touch with them, and we were good to go. And so yeah, the day of, everybody gets there. We've got Little Caesars pizza, we've got a birthday cake from Giant Eagle, and everybody's got their goodie bags. And they start opening them up, they start taking out these toys, and they go nuts. There are guys because some of them are Marvel figures, they're trading each other "Oh, I've got a this. Does anybody have a Scarlet Witch?" Things like that. They loved it. Everybody loved this like 5-year-old birthday party, but for adults. They even had like an area of the theater like roped off for us, like reserved, so we could all sit in a line. And the funny thing was, it was like reserved for birthday parties, so you could tell that the people going to see this movie thought, oh great, there's gonna be a bunch of screaming kids at this showing of Power Rangers. And then all of us walk in. Again, I think the oldest person there was my father, who was in his 60s there still at the time, like mid 60s, and then like the youngest person was like 17, and then like most of us were in like our 20s and 30s. And so one guy behind us goes, so whose birthday is it? And I'm just like, yo. They were not expecting someone almost 30 to be the birthday boy. And to this day, you know, that's been like 7 years now. You know, I was 29, I'm about to be 36. Yeah, so almost 7 years, right? Yeah. 7 years almost. And people still talk about that party. My sister was away at college. She's still jealous she didn't get to go to it. My wife is turning 30 this year, and she's trying to figure out if there's a way for us to do some kind of turning red birthday party for her. It is so cool sometimes to just be able to, you know, admit that you enjoy the things you enjoy, even though, yeah, they might be a little childish. Who doesn't love going to a birthday party, getting some free pizza, free cake, getting to watch a movie, and getting some free toys, like a swag bag? You know, those of you who might think that swag is just swagger, back in my day, swag was stuff you got for free for showing up somewhere, and usually it came in the form of a swag bag, which was just a bag full of the free shit. And as a kid, you could get me to go just about anywhere if there was going to be swag involved. In fact, I'll still go just about anywhere if there's going to be swag involved. So now that we've looked at both sides of this situation, one where it was received poorly and one where it was received well, let's look at what that says about us. I think we're in this weird state where we still, unlike previous generations, we still are very into the things we were when we were younger. And we, you know, are kind of in this weird limbo of, is it okay to still openly like these things, or will that make us seem childish? And I think that it is a sign that we're not moving socially quite as fast as we need to, because it should be 100% okay to like these things. And in fact, I don't even think it was ever necessarily wrong. It's just that it was a lot easier for adults in previous generations to put away childish things, so to speak, because their childish things were kind of lame. I mean, from like the 50s through the 70s, when we really talk about pop culture, the 50s is really kind of where we draw that line, even though that was really long ago at this point. Maybe not necessarily chronologically, but certainly based on how fast culture moves. But like in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, stuff made for kids was typically of very low quality, and it was stupid. Like, it was meant to be stupid. These were adults that were like, I don't know, just throw some googly eyes on a rock or something. The quality of the cartoons they made were pretty poor, because it was like, who cares? It's just for children. And so when you grew up and you could enjoy things like, I don't know, sports, whiskey, and sex with women, it was pretty easy to cast all that poorly made thing. Like look at what toys did you have as a kid back then? Like plastic green army men? Like, even I won't play with those right now. And I love plastic miniatures, but no, green army men? Ooh, give me my Hero Clicks or my D&D minis. But then in the 80s, something magical happened, which was they were like, hey, if we make stuff that's like really good and that kids will really enjoy, they'll beg their parents for it. And then we can make commercials and TV shows all in an attempt to sell toys to kids. And because everyone else is now realizing this too, we have to make them good. And so you got things like He-Man, you got Thundercats, you got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you had like all this stuff. And then in the 90s, it just continued, where you had X-Men, Power Rangers, Batman the Animated Series, which adults to this day, like people who were adults back when it came out, still enjoy it. My dad still likes that show, and he's 70. Just like back in through the 70s, like your video game at home was Pong, or like a crappy Atari game. Like leading into the 80s, the video game crash and all that. Like video games used to kind of suck, so they were kind of like a childish, yeah, it's just a moving thing on a screen, but I guess kids will play anything. Nowadays, you have video games with better production value values than some big budget Hollywood film. So of course it's going to be different. You're going to be okay with playing them. And that's the thing, is that we have a culture built around, entertainment and also nostalgia. Because why do you think things keep getting revamped? It's because those things were good. We still enjoy them. And they're like, well, what if we gave you more of that? And we're like, hell yeah. And this is the culture we live in. So why are there those of us out there who are still obsessed with, not being childish, and you got to be cool, you got to look cool? And, 20, 25, the way the OP and her boyfriend, still fairly young. And like I said, I was still in that situation at that age, but it was also a toxic situation. I truly believe that once you are out of high school, it's time to stop being that way. I'm not saying that trying to be cool and popular in high school really matters in the long run, but it's a situation where you are required to be around a select group of people 5 days a week for a good chunk of your time. And that's so you just fitting in is just kind of, hey, if you got to be around these people, it'd be best to get along with them. But once you're out of that, you can be whoever you want. Back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even to some extent the 80s and 90s, there was this idea that even after you were an adult, you kind of had to get along with those you were around. Because if you might notice, for the longest time, adults' only real friends were either friends that they had known for forever and see on occasion if they don't live near each other, the neighbors, and then people from work, because your parents didn't go out, they didn't meet people that had, similar hobbies. They met people in their near vicinity. And because you were a friend group made up of by proximity rather than mutual interest, it was important to fit in. But nowadays, especially with the internet and all that, you have more than ever now, the ability to easily find a group of people that you mesh with, that you share interests with, whether that is in person or online. And therefore, the ability to be yourself and enjoy the things you enjoy is easier than ever. And going back to the original post, it sounds like either one, the OP is oblivious to people going, oh, this party's so childish, or those friends really did have fun at the time, but are also toxic friends who afterwards tried to it wasn't that cool. It was kind of childish, right? Yeah, let's dog him for his girlfriend throwing him a childish birthday party. When what they should have been saying if they were good friends was, God damn, dude, you are lucky. I wish my girlfriend would throw me a dinosaur birthday party or Thundercats birthday party or insert whatever childish thing you love birthday party. I hate calling it childish too, because it's just something you enjoy. That doesn't make it childish. It's something. Joy is not just for children. You don't have to be a sad adult. I've talked about this before, is that leading up the stairs into our second story, my wife and I have a bunch of lewd anime wall scrolls drawn in super realistic art style. We call it the Hall of Whores. And, and then my wife is fine with that because she likes them too. And the amount of times that she's shown that, oh yeah, this is our hallway in a photo or to people visiting, and I've literally heard people go, damn, wish I had a girlfriend that would let me have something like this. OP, you are an amazing and supportive girlfriend, and it sounds like your boyfriend's friends are unsupportive and probably toxic, and hopefully he gets away from them. Whether or not your relationship survives, it will be best if he leaves these people behind and finds a group of people that are willing to embrace the fact that he's a guy that likes dinosaurs, and there's nothing wrong with that. Dinosaurs are cool. My favorite is the Dilophosaurus, but the Jurassic Park version, not the scientifically accurate one. I want my frills and I want my venom spitting. For Christmas this year, my wife bought me the Lego set that is the Dilophosaurus scene from the first Jurassic Park, and I was ecstatic because that's my favorite part of the movie. So I think the message I want to end on here is that once you are an adult, again, in high school, you don't have a way to get away from people and you don't want to make your life miserable. So blending in is perfectly fine. In the end, high school popularity doesn't matter, but you don't want it to be the longest 4 years of your life. But once you're out and about in the real world, and I do count college because you really don't have to hang out much with any one group for any long period of time in college. So once you're an adult, once you're out in the world, embrace the things that bring you joy, because joy is important and you shouldn't let anyone tell you that your joy isn't valid. And 2, you need to cast aside the people who want to diminish your joy. If you love Ninja Turtles and your friends make fun of you maliciously for liking Ninja Turtles, those are not your friends. You need to either, one, find people that also like Ninja Turtles, or people that are just okay with the fact that you like Ninja Turtles. And like, if you're like, oh my god, I found this rare Ninja Turtles comic to add to my collection, and I finally bought it, and they'd be like, bro, I am so happy for you. I am ecstatic about your joy. I am so happy that you have found this thing that you have been looking for and that you are happy. I am happy vicariously through you. And just like that too, when they have something, maybe they don't like Ninja Turtles, maybe they like Street Sharks, totally jawsome, totally valid choice. And they're like, oh my god, I found this mint in box Dr. Piranodon, or whatever his name was, figure that I've been wanting to add to my collection for forever. And you likewise will be like, dude, I am so stoked for you, because your joys, you should build each other up as friends, not tear each other down and make it so, oh, hey, no, it's toxic and it's repressive. And if you have friends that are doing shit like that, it's because they are also repressed. They are not willing to embrace their joy. And so if they can't be happy, and if they can't express that their love for their childish things, then nobody should. And those aren't people you need in your life. So that's going to be our video, guys. I'm Mr. Sean. This is Chimera Miniatures, and I wish you as adults the childhood birthday party of your dreams, and that you alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.